Hello everybody, Cold War Nerd here, back again. It's been a while since I last uploaded, but I have since gotten a lot of stuff. And I have more stuff on the way, which should hopefully be arriving today. We'll see. So, today we're going to be doing a relatively simple one. I'm going to be basically comparing the LBV vest to Alice. So, I'm just letting you know, for the LBV, we're going to be rating it without a belt. Because I know usually you're supposed to have a belt attached where you can put water, mag pouches, and such. I'm literally just going to use this without the belt. So that's how we're going to be rating it. So let's start with the LBV here. So this came out in 1988, I believe. The first version did, but the entire thing was made of just solid fabric, and people started complaining that it was not venting body heat as well. So they changed it to this mesh fabric. So I don't really like the little space in between pouches right here. I don't know why, I just don't like it. I feel like it's a little bit more, because with Alice, you could just look directly down, and there's your two mag pouches right there, so you can just go like this. But on the LBV, which it was kind of innovative, the idea was if you're laying down prone, you don't have to lean over to the side to grab your mags. You can just kind of go and they're there. Pouches are definitely better than Alice. I like the Velcro. I definitely like the Velcro. It's way better than Alice. I mean, with Alice, you have to fumble around with the buckle. This, you can literally just go. But that also makes it kind of more likely to just open up mid-run. And I know there are these little buttons that you can also clip in. See? There's a button, the little two buttons right here that you can clip in alongside the Velcro to make it stay stay clipped. But that doesn't really change much. I don't really use that though, because I don't really want to have to put a lot of force on there to open it. So you can just go. So mags can fall out unless you clip that in, but it's your call if you want to clip it. So another good thing is on the back. There's nothing on the back. It is completely empty on the back of the LBV, and that makes it very much easier to get into vehicles in tight spaces, etc., etc. Because with Alice, you're gonna have canteens and a butt pack back there. So that Alice makes it a lot harder to get into vehicles with it on, and so much so that I've watched Gulf War footage where guys that are going through the desert in Humvees, they didn't even they weren't even wearing their Alice gear. They just had it stowed in the trunk. That way, when they're about to go into combat, they can just jump out and grab their gear from the trunk and then get out and start fighting. So the LBV, it's improved in some categories, far improved in some categories, but in some categories it's kind of lacking. I mean, I would prefer the pouches to be completely vertical instead they're at a curve, which isn't really that big of a detail, but they're there. With the LBV, you can only have 2 grenades, because there are 2 grenade pouches on the LBV. This one, which, as you can see here, it'll only hold a single grenade. This thing cannot hold 2 grenades, nor can it hold smoke grenades. So, let me just see if I can fit that in there. Yeah, see. So, it can only hold 2 grenades, which, it's okay. I mean, really, I personally always want to have more magazines than grenades, which Molly lets you have more, or not Molly, the LBV, I'm thinking of the IBA, but the LBV lets you have more magazines, because each one of these pouches carries 2 magazines. Now, there's four of these pouches. So let's do the math here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 magazines you can carry, but only 2 grenades. I know for a lot of like actual combat scenarios, having more grenades is way better than having more magazines. So, pros with this is you can get into vehicles with it much easier. It's not as bulky as Alice. And you can carry more ammo with it. The cons are you can only carry 2 grenades with it. Now, granted, you can always attach a belt to it and then have Alice magazine pouches on that belt so you can carry even more magazines and even more grenades. Or you can just attach like a butt pack to the back of the thing, which again will eliminate the vehicle compatibility, and then you could just stuff the butt pack with grenades. But again, we're just rating that normally. Now on to Alice. So this is Alice. It's pretty basic. Get this thing on here. So you have your belt. I'll do a whole video on this Alice system, but it's very simple. Pros to this are it's pretty decent at its job. With this thing clipped in, I can't really feel a lot of this like weight on me. You know what I mean? I can't it doesn't really feel that like awkward. You know what I mean? So, and you can carry way more stuff with this, and it's much more customizable than the LBV. It's way more compatible. Way more compatible. Now, granted, with the LBV, the later version of this is actually meant to replace Alice, but it never did, and it instead got replaced by the Molly system and the IBA vest. Now, what they did with Molly and the IBA is they actually just took these pouches and made them vertical and added the little Molly strips to the back. So, mag pouches are good. Overall, the vest isn't. Now on to Alice. So, Alice, you can carry, I'm just going to go off a normal rifleman setup. You can carry 6 magazines in each of these pouches, or of course you can carry an additional 3rd magazine pouch. Where is my 3rd magazine pouch? It's somewhere back there. But you can carry a 3rd magazine pouch, or you can carry really whatever. For example, I have, bayonet, etc., etc., etc. With this, you can't carry a bayonet, and you're really just limited to magazines and grenades on this. Nothing else, unless you attach a belt, which again, we're not rating it with a belt, despite that commonly being what's done. So, 6 magazines between the 2 magazine pouches. 2 canteen pouches, a butt pack, which you can put like a poncho, blanket, extra food. Like I have an MRE in here, whatever. You also have room for a little, compass pouch. So you have room for a compass pouch, and you can have room for a flashlight. So overall, if you want to carry more stuff, Alice is the way to go. If you want to be more light and you want to have more maneuverable capabilities, the LBV is your way to go. Hold on, I'm trying to shut this without it breaking the compass. And what am I kidding? This thing's military grade. It's not going to break. Yeah, I hate these dang, little snap button pouches because you can't really see them that well. So, in the end, who wins? Better, more magazines, more grenades, more of everything. And much more compatible, and much more, maneuver, and much more, customizability. And this has more, maneuverability. You can get into vehicles, etc., etc. My personal choice for the Victor, that's going to be Alice. I much prefer Alice over the LBV. Now, granted, if I have a belt attached, I honestly still prefer Alice. This just doesn't really do a good job. It's actually kind of more bulky in a way that I can't describe. But I prefer Alice over that any day of the week, even with the belt, which can attach additional pouches. So I'm going to post a poll on my YouTube channel. That way you can vote. But my personal pick is going to be the Alice system. But again, you guys are going to be able to vote on which load-bearing system you think is the best. Goodbye, everybody. It's been Cold War Nerd. Peace out.